And let's dig into the financial incentives to keeping fit. You're sealing a deal with UnitedHealthCare and Qualcomm. You're speaking to other insurers. How wide will this go?
It's a pretty big deal for the whole industry. I mean, everyone's talked about when insurance players will connect with wearable companies and provide incentives. And this is the first real integration that proves that out. UnitedHealthCare is going to provide up to $1,500 in incentives for people to reach physical activity goals using their Fitbit Charge 2. And I think this is going to be the first of many deals of this type in this industry. And it's a real indication that wearable health technology can drive real healthcare outcomes and lower healthcare costs.
At the moment, corporate wellness plans made up about less than 10% of your overall revenue. Can you give us an aim of the next year, 5 years, how much corporate wellness plans and these insurance deals will make up in terms of revenue for Fitbit?
It is less than 10% of our revenue today, but it's an area of the business that we're highly focused on. And I think we're expanding from employers, of which we have 70 of the Fortune 500 today, to now working with insurance companies. So it's demonstrating that we're continuing to diversify our revenue streams.
Yeah, I wonder, James, as you explore this further, these corporate partnerships, do you see the usage case differ? Are the people who are using Fitbits there use them for longer periods of time, less attrition of a user?
I think the initial data is starting to see that. I mean, UnitedHealthCare has done a lot of internal research before rolling out this program in a broader way. And these financial incentives, I mean, $1,500, you can earn up to $4 a day. This is a pretty powerful incentive, and I think it's going to be an important tool in keeping people engaged and retained on this program.
I also wonder what it means for sort of product design. Do your product design goals differ and maybe go more towards wellness and less towards running, for example, as you design products for that marketplace going forward?
Yeah, I think some of the features might shift, and actually we had to develop some custom functionality for UnitedHealthCare to be part of this integration. And we actually, in conjunction with them, developed some algorithms for a device that measure things like frequency, intensity, and tenacity of the physical activity of the user. So yes, there's going to be different metrics that are going to be relevant for this insurance market.
You talked how this is an industry-wide move. In the UK, I've already seen Apple do this with their smartwatches and Vitality, the healthcare provider over there. Who is the key competition? Because we're seeing smartwatches from Samsung and Apple get cheaper, the battery's getting longer. They're trying to tackle some of their headwinds. How much of the pie can you keep as Fitbit?
Yeah, so I'll challenge the notion that our competitors are getting better on the hardware. I mean, I think we still have to see smartwatches that achieve more than 1 day battery life. A lot of the smartwatches today are still hobbled by the fact that they're confined to a single ecosystem, whether it's iOS or Android. I mean, the reason that we have such a leadership position, we're number one in almost every country that we're selling in, is the fact that we're cross-platform, we're a focused brand on health and fitness, and we have a demonstrated history of working with commercial partners, employers, and now insurance companies to roll out these solutions.
Yeah, it's interesting. The last time I went to CES, and I'm sorry that you're there, and I'm glad I'm not this year, but last year it was so much the show about the wearables and all these competitors coming up with wearable devices. Everyone from Jawbone, who you guys have been engaged in a lot of litigation over, to Under Armour and hundreds of others, and yet your market share remains strong. What is it you think that is helping you maintain that market share?
Yeah, so there's a lot of players that are falling out. I mean, you're starting to see some consolidation in the industry. For instance, we were also able to pick up a lot of the software assets of Pebble, who was an early pioneer in the category. I think what's helped us remain a leader is, the brand Fitbit really stands for health and fitness. We've built a lot of loyalty over the years. Again, the fact that we're cross-platform, we have a broad selection of products with different price points, form factors, long battery life, et cetera. We have a huge community of users. We've shipped over 50 million devices, and that user community has built a tremendous competitive moat for us over the years.
Are you going to have to spend more? Is there going to be more acquisitions?
M&A is definitely an important part of our strategy to remain competitive, but we're pretty selective in the type of deals that we see. I mean, because of our leadership position, we see pretty much every M&A opportunity in the category, but we've been pretty selective. We've only acquired 3 companies so far, but it's going to be an important tool for us.
You have spent, as I mentioned, in suing Jawbone, tens of millions of dollars in these suits. How much longer do you expect that to go on, and when will those amounts be capped?
Yeah, I can't talk too much about ongoing litigation. I mean, our preference is to compete and win in the marketplace, and I think our numbers clearly show that. We're number one in, again, almost every country that we're competing in.
And what about the software part of the puzzle? I'm intrigued by this deal that you have with UnitedHealthCare and Qualcomm, because at the moment you're the hardware factor. How much will you be able to boost revenue when it comes to software, when it comes to the app element of it all?
So a big focus of CES for Fitbit this year was the software. We didn't launch any hardware this year. And that's really to signify the fact that we're more than a device company. We're a software and solutions company. And I think the things that we launched at CES, including community feed feature, integration with third parties such as Peloton, VR bicycles, et cetera, this software integration deal with UnitedHealthCare, I think demonstrates the fact that our commitment to software is going to be one of the key differentiating factors in us maintaining leadership in this category. And we're pretty excited about it.